Hi, it's Neil Thomas here from Wedding Help NI. This is episode 39 of the Wedding Help podcast. Wedding Help, of course, is that place you need to be if you're getting married. You can find out everything at www.weddinghelpni.com. My guest today is the lovely Melissa. How are you? Are you nervous?
A wee bit, yeah. I haven't done this before.
You shouldn't be nervous because you are now a great speaker because you are, of course, the president of PPANI, isn't that right? To tell people what that is, I suppose, as well.
So I'm the president of the Professional Photographers Association of Northern Ireland. We are a group of full-time professional photographers. There's around 67 of us.
Right.
And the majority now are female, I'm glad to say.
There we go.
A bit of a turnaround from it. It started 60 years ago, so... It definitely wasn't probably mainly, it was probably mainly men 60 years ago. So yeah, just made president last Tuesday.
That's very exciting. So it was too.
Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of responsibility, a lot of organising, but up for the task.
Aye. So tell us, photography, what were you doing before photography, or how did photography come about?
I've been a photographer now for 13 years.
Right.
I started off doing family photography and then moved into weddings. But before that, I was an estate agent for 10 years.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So when the property market crashed in 2008, I was made redundant.
Aye.
And did a few temp jobs in between, but then started my business when my girls were babies.
Aye.
So, yeah.
And how did you find it? Like photography, I suppose I always think, especially with weddings, maybe starting in that family sort of things, but easier because on a wedding, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm looking after somebody's wedding photos for the day. So how did you find that process of starting out?
I loved it from word go. It's so strange because I was always that friend, in the friend group who had the camera.
Aye.
And this will show my age, but I was the one who going into the cameras and getting my film developed. And for my 18th birthday, what my dad got me was my first digital camera. So I've always been the one who takes photos.
Aye.
But the transition from family to weddings sort of happened by accident. A local bridal shop here in County Armagh, Creative Ideas, they asked me to take photos.
I should have said you're based, of course, in County Armagh. So
just in Tandragee. But they asked me to take photos of their wedding dresses on some models, and from that I was like, I'd love to shoot weddings.
Yeah.
And didn't really promote it, but just put the pictures up and got bookings for a wedding.
Oh, brilliant!
And then off the back of that.
And then sort of led on. And I suppose we were chatting before we came on the podcast, and we were chatting, about meta glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you have an interest in, I suppose, cameras, and I suppose you have an interest in that stuff as well. Like,
always from as I say, from as a child, I've always had interest in cameras. I'm not formally trained; I'm self-taught. I taught myself. It was probably got a bit of backlash when I first put up a Facebook page and said I was going to be a photographer.
So an estate agent, were you doing any of that sort of the houses?
Yeah.
No. So I suppose that was a good sort of starting point too.
Yeah, definitely.
To give a bit of confidence on that sort of to work forward.
But I've always loved taking photos.
Yeah.
And being on a wedding day is just amazing. I'm getting to spend a great day. It's fun with a couple who just got married and all their friends and family. I just think it's brilliant.
I think you need a passion, don't you? Because I think people it's more than just the wedding day, especially for a photographer. It's more than the wedding day. There's so much, there's so many hours behind.
There is. I take bookings from 2 years, maybe in advance, a year in advance, and then it's getting to know the couple beforehand and sending them out information that's going to help them on the wedding day, and then it's the wedding day itself. But then afterwards, it's all the editing, and you're in contact with your couples, about their albums as well. So you could be 3 to 6 months after the wedding. I'm still in contact with them. Yeah.
How would you think with your craft or your style? I know the photographers say, about styles and what style they would say their photographer is.
I know. As soon as somebody says to me, what's your style? I don't actually know what I do. I suppose I just like to have fun and keep it relaxed. I suppose that's the style. More, the editing, I would like to keep it true to colour, nice and bright and vibrant, and I just want to show people having fun on their wedding day, not stiffed and posed and feeling awkward, so I think that comes from getting to know me beforehand as well.
Aye, so I suppose as well you're saying lots of colour there and lots of vibrancy.
Yeah,
I suppose that's lovely too because you're really getting the real person.
Well, that's it, and I think if a couple are usually a bride, a couple, sorry boys, but she puts a lot of effort into choosing their colours of her flowers and they're choosing their dresses, and they just want to keep them as true to life as you possibly can, and it's nice.
Yeah. No, we talked about. I talked about this before. The portraits in the day, or getting them shots.
Yeah.
How do you find them? You know, do you enjoy that as well, or what's your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
love getting the portraits. The portraits are the ones that people put on their walls. So whether it's the portrait of the bride and groom or the portrait of the family, they're super important. And I'm finding since COVID a bit of a shift in what's the most important to the couples. So I ask a question in my form when they get their detailed questions for their wedding day. What's the most important photos to you?
Yeah.
And before COVID, a lot of brides and groom were like, oh, we want lovely portraits of us and blah, blah. Now it's more family.
Aye.
We want, the family photos are so important. Make sure we get all that family shots done.
But as you say, them photos are going up on a wall,
Yeah, the ones that go up
and
on the wall.
you know, a mum and dad's house, and they're going up in your own house, and it is really important, that, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, and it's really special. So it is. You know,
Definitely.
I suppose you never actually think how many of your photos are on people's walls around the country.
No,
Is that not something they think
it's when I
about?
walk back into a house and maybe shot the sister's wedding, and I go walk back in and I see the photo on the wall. You're like, oh, it's lovely to see it printed. Printing your photos is really, really important. Just don't leave them on a disc.
Are there any trends you're seeing in wedding photography at the moment, or anything that's coming through new or anything?
I don't really follow trends, Dale, to be honest.
Aye.
I do say, like, the true to life is, colour wise, is definitely a big trend at the minute, especially after there was a celebrity wedding. I can't remember her name, but it was true to life colour. Trends that I don't like is like the motion blur. Sorry, anybody who does it. It's not motion blur. I like the motion blur when it's in motion, but when I see like a pair of shoes and a flower and it's blurred, I don't like that.
I suppose as well, you've seen trends now that they do the photo dash and stuff as well.
I've done that too.
Very popular.
I have to get fitter to do that, Dale. I've been going to the gym so I can keep up with it.
This is the stuff we're not seeing. This is the background stuff.
You have to get fit as well to carry the camera all day,
These aren't so bad. It's the videographers that are really thing with all their videographer equipment.
No, they're not too bad now either. They've all got Sonys.
They're all laughing. But no, I suppose stuff like the photo dash and all, that can be really good as well, because you're meeting people, I suppose, at the you're getting to go around all your guests as well and get involved.
And the biggest tip for that is to make sure, like, if you're doing the photo dash, is to do it to a song.
Yeah.
Because it keeps it moving, it keeps it fast.
Yeah, and I suppose it's not slowed down.
Yeah, and always tell your photographer and videographer you're going to do it.
Do you offer, and that's a really important thing, I think, as well in the day, they're telling your photographer, because there's a lot of weddings, and it could be like something like a singing waiter and stuff, and the photographer doesn't have an idea that they're coming at all. And, it's supposed to be a secret, and the photographer just
doesn't know.
There may be something at the bar eating their food.
Yeah, because that's when we get our break.
Yeah, and all they hear is music. They're all, what's going on up there?
It's
and
like,
then, are away running. But it is important, I suppose, as well, to tell your photographers that,
Sometimes the bride and groom don't even know about that.
No,
so it's like, if you are a bridesmaid or a mum or somebody who's organised it, tell your photographer and videographer, because they need to know.
It can be so important just to give your photographer a line of the day as well.
Yeah.
Just to keep time and stuff as well, that they know what's going on on the day, Do you offer engagement shoots or pre-wedding sessions? What way does that work?
Yeah, so I like to know my couples before their wedding, like face to face. So I do offer that with all packages, free, complimentary. Yeah. So we meet up, local to me, and we'll do like a wee 30-minute shoot. I probably spend most time talking. But it breaks the ice. If I walk into a house in the morning and I've never met the couple before, it can be a bit more awkward. Whereas if we've met and did a few wee photos, I'm walking in and they've already met me and they know my style and know I'm pretty relaxed and I'm not going to be bossing them around too much.
And I suppose as well, they know as well that you can read a couple, and some couples don't want.
Yes, the lovey-dovey and...
or they you're there, they want you to get photos, but you're there.
Yeah.
And there's some couples might want more of that. And I suppose doing that pre-engagement shoot, or just even meeting a couple as well, you can really get to know people and know what they want on the day.
You can kind of, on them pre-shoots, you can gauge what they're like with each other, If they're like into little hugging and kissing, or if they just like to hold hands, go for a walk, it's every couple's different. So it's nice to meet them, as I say, beforehand.
How do you make couples feel relaxed in front of the camera? I suppose one of them things as well, you have couples that might be a bit nervous, and just getting the camera straight, it's one of them things, isn't it?
I'd probably be the goofiest person about the place and say the stupidest things, but to get the natural reactions, I hate, telling somebody to stand, oh, come on, give me a smile. And then you panic. You don't know how to smile. It's you forget how to smile. So if you say something daft and stupid, they'll start laughing, or just say, right, interact with each other, or whisper something in her ear that will make her laugh.
Yeah.
Or even if there's a child, I sang Baby Shark so many times at weddings to get the child to look at a camera. But you just do what you can.
Aye, because you want to get them good shots as well, I suppose.
And not just say, like, right, stand there and give me a smile.
How do you handle challenging situations? I suppose bad weather or tight timelines. Is there any sort of advice there? What would you give to couples? Or
you can't control the weather.
Aye.
It's the one thing on your wedding day that there's no way you can control, and whatever happens, just smile, enjoy your day, and get on with it.
I suppose as well, a good thing as well with photographers and stuff, if you've done the venue, you might know good wee places to go in the venue. So don't be panicking about weather, because
No. We'll always get photos. We'll always get photos. You've picked your venue because you love your venue. So if you have to go inside, you go inside.
I remember even on my own wedding day, like that was the weather was quite bad, like, and it was in August.
Yeah.
But the weather was quite bad, and a lot of our shots then was inside the hotel. But if you know the good spots to go, you can get really nice photos in them.
So, and even photographers can take a shot in an area that you would be like, oh, I don't think this should be where I'm getting my photograph taken. But then you get the photo back and you're like, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah.
So we can see things that you can't. So just trust your photographer. I think that's the best advice, is to, if you've booked your photographer, you need to be able to trust your photographer and let them do what the best they can do.
What's your biggest tip for couples choosing a wedding photographer? What would your tips be there?
Definitely, you should like the person as well as liking their photos, because that person is with you maybe 12 hours of the day. We're the only vendor with you from the very start of your day to the end of your day. So it's an awful lot of time to spend with somebody. So yes, love the photos that they take, but also like them as a person as well.
I think as well, the big thing as well, like you'll find their work online.
Yeah.
Everything's online now, and you can go and you can look at their work, make sure you're happy with it, look at the reviews, see what you see, see everything that matches up and makes sense to you, and that you're happy with it. Isn't that right too?
That's right. Like in my reviews, yes, people say they love their photos, but they talk about more how I was with them during the day, and how I made them feel relaxed and comfortable, and how they enjoyed their day because of it, as well as getting the photos back. So it's definitely a big part of it, is how you make a couple feel on a day. Yeah.
Is there any mistakes you often see couples make when it comes to photography planning? Like, is there any mistakes you've seen?
I think it's probably the travel issue. If your ceremony venue is far away from your reception venue, you need to factor in the travel time. A lot of couples forget about the travel time, and then they're like, where's my day gone? Because when we get to the venue, you have to go out and do photos, and then you're missing quite a bit of that drinks reception. Whereas if you have your ceremony earlier in the day, then you get there quicker, and then you'll have more time back with your guests.
I think a ceremony in the day, like anything after sort of 2:00, like don't be.
If it's later than a 2:00 ceremony, have it all in the one place.
It's like you've heard that, like like I know whenever I got married, it was 12:00, like, and it was loads of time. It was an hour at the end of the ceremony with everything well planned, and that's really important. Like
so important. Like there's venues I know in the south that you can't have your reception there, or you can't have your ceremony until 3:00. So if you're starting at 3. And then your meal's at 5. That's such a tight time scale.
And to try and get lots of shots. Is that a fear you ever have there in trying to get lots of photographs?
I like to work quickly. And that's another reason why I do the pre-shoot too, is because it shows couples how many photos I can get within such a short space of time. You don't have to be out standing for hours and hours. Like I remember years ago going to weddings and the bride and groom being gone for maybe 2 hours, and you're going, where are they? And they were out doing their photos that whole time.
It can be such a bad thing, because it's you want to enjoy your day too, I suppose, and you want to get everything out of it.
Yeah. So my aim is to get their photos done as quickly as possible. I'll usually get the bridal party first, and then I'll send them away. So it's just the bride and groom left to get close and cuddle in without everybody looking at them.
And I suppose that's a fear too as well, because you don't want that, and you don't want everybody standing around, depending on your
looking
personality, of course,
But then they can get back in and enjoy the rest of their day.
What does your typical package include for yourself? Do you offer different sort of packages, or what?
Yeah, so I offer 3 well, there's actually 4 packages. There's a luxury package, which includes everything from full day coverage, album, second shooter, pre-shoot, the whole works.
Yeah.
So it's the luxury package, it's called.
Yeah.
But then I offer 3 different time packages. So you've got your full day coverage, your coverage to speeches, and your coverage to mail call. Starting from £1,200, and then the couple can choose what suits them best.
Yeah, so it's really, and that's good as well. There's lots of different variety there they offer in
Lots
that.
of options, and then you'll get couples maybe booking the mail call package, but then later on they'll be well up until dancing as well.
And of course, you're based in Armagh, but are you happy enough to travel?
Yes, I travel all over Northern Ireland and the south as well.
Yeah.
So being close to the border is really good because I would get quite a lot of weddings Dundalk direction.
And that's very popular with Armagh. Like they had, like Darver or places like that, and them sort of venues, down that sort of way, What's the most memorable or unique wedding you've ever?
That's so hard.
You have to pick one now.
11 years.
Pick one.
Oh goodness. I suppose unique was a wedding. It was up near Spelga Dam in the Mourne Mountains.
Right.
It was lovely. It was at the bride's family home. They had like an equestrian centre, and it was outdoors. It was really, really nice. So it was very personal. It was a humanist ceremony, very personal to them. And it had, as I said, their ceremony outdoors, and then they went to Spelga Dam and round the Mourns to do their photos. Very, as I say, very unique. It was nice.
How have you found the wedding help platform? How have you found
very
that for your
good.
business?
I joined it February time, I think it was.
Right.
And I've so many inquiries and a good few bookings through.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
So singing praises to everybody.
There we go.
But yeah, even the community's lovely. Everybody's there to help each
I think
other.
it's good in that way too as well, that community and having that, even that background thing, the wee background sort of Facebook page and all.
Yeah.
It's good as well. They throw things out there and,
it is good. And,
they get together as well, I think.
Yeah, as a photographer, we're one of the first people that clients book.
Yeah.
So they go to their venue, usually then their photographer. And then they're asking us for recommendations. So having
that's a big thing too as well, because I suppose, as you say, the photographer is one of the first things, and you probably will meet up with them because you want to get that bit of personality.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk weddings, do you know what I mean? So it's good to have that too as well, isn't it?
We can recommend. Like, I've been asked an awful lot about content creators, and I met content creators through Wedding Help that I hadn't met before. So it's nice. It's good.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And that has been our episode today. Thank you for listening and take care. Bye for now.